Hi, this is Candace, and this is Bible Study with Candace. Today we're going to go through Psalm 121. If you don't have a Bible, please log into your system and type in Bible Gateway and then Psalm 121. I do use the King James Version, but I do use the New King James Version. And that just helps me because it's not the these and the thous. It's taking those out and replace them with normal English. So Psalm 121, I will lift up my eyes to the hills from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord, who made heavens and earth. He will not allow your foot to be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. The Lord shall preserve your going out and your coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Uh, in my last video, I mentioned that King David wrote the Psalms in the Bible, and these were orchestrated by God. Um, these scriptures sound like perhaps we will live a charmed life, and that's really not what the Lord is saying. Nobody is going to live a charmed life on earth. Maybe perhaps when we get to heaven, it'll just be so nice. But here we as Christians, we're not of the world, but we are in the world. And we are subject to sin. And we have free will. We can choose to do or we can choose not to do. He's saying, I will lift up my eyes to the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. This is another favorite scripture of mine. He's telling you no matter what you're going through, no matter what you need, call on Him. You may not get an instant answer. As a matter of fact, more often than not, you won't get an instant answer. But the fellowship and the peace that comes with speaking with God, all that fellowship is just marvelous. The peace you'll feel when you do this is remarkable. I have felt the Lord's peace, and it is very remarkable. And I'm sure I'm not feeling the entire amount of peace that He has to offer. What I did feel was just amazing. He's saying, yeah, I'm going to keep you from really hurting yourself. I'm going to send my angels out to keep you, from being hurt. But he's also talking about Israel, Israel, the country, and that's God's firstborn. We need to support her. And that's what God's saying. I am Israel. I'm going to protect her. That's what we need to do. Protect Israel and always do for her. The Lord told Abraham, I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you. And he's talking about Israel too. Anytime, that's another thing. And we can go on and on with this. I tend to get off and then come back to the point. So you'll have to pardon me. Israel is the center of the world. When Israel is at peace, the world is at peace. When Israel isn't at peace, the world is not in peace. And there's a theory there that I'm not going to get into at this time because it's lengthy. But what I just said is fact. Pardon me. Whenever they're at rest, everybody's at rest in the world, and it's amazing. And God's telling us, I'm going to do these things for you. I'm going to do these things for Israel. Yes, you're going to have problems and troubles. Oh, yeah. I mean, King David himself did. King David became devious at one point. Um, he was on his roof and he happened to look over the city and he saw next door to him, whose ever home that was, Bathsheba's, and she was on the roof taking a bath. And he just said, oh my goodness, the beauty of her. So he sent for her and they had an affair and she became pregnant. So King David said, "Oh, we've got to hide this. She's married. Her husband was at war. King David had, he's the king. His country was at war. So he called for her husband to come. And he told, "Oh, you're doing such a good job. I'm so proud of you. Tell you what, I want you to eat, drink, and be merry, and then go home to your wife." Well, he ate and drank and was merry and went home. But when he came back to see David the next day, King David asked him, he said, "Oh, I'm so glad you got rest and you spent time with your wife." He said, "Oh, no, I slept outside at the door." He said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Well, how can I have fun and my men are out there fighting?" So King David said, "All right." So he sent him back to the battleground and he told one of his warriors, he said, "Get out there and make sure he's on the front line," because David knew if he was on the front line, he'd be killed. And that's exactly what happened. So he took Bathsheba as his wife. She gave birth, but the Lord called that baby home. He said, "We're not going to have this. This is deception." And he called that baby home. Well, then King David and Bathsheba had another child, Solomon. And we'll go into that later. But King David had his moments. He was human, but he asked for forgiveness. And then he spent his life writing the book of Psalm. It's just amazing. I want to thank you all who have tuned in. Um, I know it's a little prehistoric. I'm not on a microphone in a pod, I guess, is a news pod. Um, but I'd rather do it this way because I want to be able to be seen and speak about this. I try to do it in the mornings. This is my second one. Both times it's been in the morning, so feel free to bring your coffee and your donuts or your muffin and just sit down and have some fellowship time with Bible study with Candace. And this is until the next time we see each other. Thank you. Have a blessed weekend.